Hey y'all, today I'm going to walk you through a simple, natural, and everyday look with just a few quick products. Most of you all know by now I always start my makeup by starting with my eyebrows. The eyebrows are the framers of the eyes, and so I always like to start there. I'm using my Benefit pencil in Goof Proof. The actual tone is 2.5. And whenever I start the brow, I always start my first stroke at the base of the brow. Then I'll take my pencil and I'll make sure my angle, and I'm kind of showing that at the camera, is looking, towards my arch. And the arch, believe it or not, comes from the top of the eyebrow. So this is me kind of shading in that arch with my waxy goof-proof brow. Then I'll use a clean mascara wand to just blend that out so it looks as natural as possible. My preference is to have, if I'm comparing this to a microbladed brow, is to have like a combination brow. Somewhere between an ombre and a microbladed brow. So I do like even that shaded brow more than anything. And some of you probably like to just fill your brows in naturally. When I brush through the brow with a mascara wand, it just helps kind of break up the product. It is a waxier base and just kind of set everything in place. And it helps me just keep my, my hair follicles just kind of also brushed into the product. Now I start with curling my lashes, and I use a paint pot from MAC Cosmetics called Soft Orche. I'm going to use it with a flat brush from MAC, and it's more of a synthetic brush. I have tried various eyelash curlers. I've tried this Shiseido that's very popular. I always end up coming back to my good old MAC eyelash curler. I just feel like it's always given me the same payoff every time I use it. So I'm a big fan. The paint pot that I will be using from MAC Cosmetics is a yellower tone. So two products, the paint pot, the flat brush. What I love about this paint pot is it starts off creamy and it actually blends down to powder. So here I'm going to use it for my blemishes that are more of a red tone, and the yellow will automatically cancel out that red tone. Voila. And so we'll go ahead and use the flat synthetic brush and start with applying the paint pot to the eyelid. This is my primer, and for this particular look, this is also going to be my eyeshadow color on the eyelid. As I use my flat synthetic brush to take this product cream to powder throughout my eyelid, keeping in mind that a synthetic brush is made to be used with either cream or liquid. Hence why I really like this brush from MAC, and I will link up the number, but I love that it has a really nice point so I can get really precise underneath the brow. And so this product blending into powder does help eliminate oils and excess oils on the lid. It also makes all your shadows look really bright and vibrant. Always use your moisturizer. This is Goat's Milk lip conditioner. Big fan. Since I live in a really cold area, I want to make sure that when I'm ready to get to lips, I'm nice and moisturized. So I'm using the BK Beauty blending brush with my crease, and the crease is like a really light brown, and I'm just going to kind of swirl the color into my brush and just really kind of make and darken up the crease, the natural crease, nothing too dramatic, because I am trying to achieve a really natural look. So just holding your brush away from the bristle will also help you kind of have a little bit more flexibility in your wrist. So then your product is really depositing nice and soft. So again, just kind of doing that on that side. I'm going to use a pencil. It's a liquid liner, but it's very much like a pen. I'm a big fan of pens, and like I said, I'll link everything up. I know this is Too Faced. I really did try to perform the stroke on camera, but it's hard. So with 2 strokes, you can achieve a winged outliner. So now that we've matched up both our strokes for the winged outliner, I'm going to apply mascara. Keeping in mind that I did only apply my winged outliner to the center of my eye, as I think that it keeps the eye pretty open and clean, and it does give that natural look. So with concealer, Charlotte Tilbury with my amazing BK Beauty brush, and I'm going to use Ardell's Wisp Lashes for a half lash. And so I use a creamier concealer because I am over 40, and I love this BK Beauty brush, and it's actually almost has a different design. So on the front is where it's a little fluffier, and that's what I really like, and you'll see throughout this video that I'm going to use the other side of the brush to apply my highlight. But I really like this brush and how fluffy it is. It helps blend out the product really nicely. And I just get the nice highlight underneath the eye and, you know, just kind of cover up. I get a lot of discoloration underneath my eye, but I love that this brush is really fluffy. It does have that nice synthetic feeling, but it has a good mixture of natural fibers to make it feel just super luxurious. So again, kind of as you hold your brush, I'm a big teacher on that. I'm holding pretty close to my bristle because I'm just trying to get the product through pretty quickly. But, you know, how you hold your brush matters. So holding closer to the bristle will always deposit more product. Now I'm going to go in, and I usually only fill out my bottom lashes in the center. I don't go across the lash line, just because when you look at an eye, you look at the center of the eye. So I use product precisely where you need them. And so something I learned from, you know, the trade, and using some latex duo, I cut my lashes in half, and now I'm just using a secondary object to apply the duo. So once you get the lash dewy, just apply the lash to the edge of your lash line. Now I'll go in with my color corrector with IT Cosmetics, and I do a little bit less than a dime size, but then I go, no, I think I need more. And then I add my Fenty Beauty in Hustla Baby. It's like a gold colored drops of luster drops. I'm just a big fan because I like really dewy skin. I just really add it to my product. Then I'll mix that in. And where I apply my makeup first is where I want more coverage. So notice once I get that nice and mixed up, I apply usually to the center of my skin or the T-zone because I get the deeper freckles there, the larger pores are there for most people. And, you know, I just like to kind of cover up in those areas. So whatever's left, then I kind of brush it, you know, in between. I do like the freckles on my nose, and I do like my freckles overall. I feel like they add youthfulness. I'm going to use the BK Beauty, the fluffy brush. I'll give all the numbers later to blend that out. And kind of like between pressing the product in my skin and swirling, like I said, unless you have freckles, I do like them. You just really do feel like you need to have a little bit more coverage than usual so that you have less discoloration because it truly is, you know, a pigmentation thing. So I'll blend that out, and typically towards, you know, my forehead, I hold my brush kind of further away from the bristle because I try not to, even though it's very hard, to not get tons of product in your hairline because then it really just reduces your hair wash time. That's kind of the biggest thing for me. So once I get foundation on, I like to just kind of make sure that I press it all in. It's important to kind of take it on your neckline. I'm going to use the BK Beauty highlight and contour brushes. This Michael Kors highlight is amazing. It's like a deodorant. I love the color. It's between a white and a gold. For me, being more of an olive tone, it works out really well. And here I'm just kind of, you know, swatching the product and, you know, where I like the highlights. And then I will take my brush, and I thought, you know what, my bridge of my nose needs a little bit more. My BK Beauty brush, the flat side of it, that's the one I use for my concealer. And now I'll press in the highlight for this Marc Jacobs highlighter. Super cool. It's a little drier, to be honest, for my skin that's more mature. But I still rock it because it's Marc Jacobs, and it's such a cool highlight. It's been really great for my skin tone and even my texture because it's still creamier, but it's not as creamy, I guess, as I would like. So blending that in. Then I'll use now, I'm going to use my touch up just a little bit, my contouring BK Beauty brush with my MAC Give Me Sun. This is the mineralized product. What I love about this mineralized product from MAC is it truly looks satiny as a finish on the skin. And here I'm really holding my brush further away from the bristle. I noticed as I was applying that it was a really dark kind of bronzer press for what I was going for. It was just a day where I was, taking my daughter out for a play day and had to run some errands. So I got my fluffier brush that I use for my skin and I kind of buffed it out. So here's me not really adding product to my brush. This is just the brush I use to blend in my foundation and kind of blend that out. Okay, and since I had to kind of blend it, I'm going to hold my brush a different way. Okay, so since it deposited, I'm not going to hold it like that. I'm going to hold it away from the bristles and kind of just use a different technique to see if I can deposit color a lot more naturally. And yes, that did the trick. So holding your brush away from the bristle and kind of spinning it around deposited less product and looks more natural for what I was trying to achieve for this look. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish off the look with a little bit of blush with it on the apples of the cheeks. And I love this brush from BK Beauty because it has a very nice kind of tapered into it, and so I'm just going to get a little bit of this cream blush from MAC and I'll start on the apples of the cheek, and I won't go as far as where I filled in bronzer. This is just a different technique. I know there's a lot of artists out there using the stick foundations for contour, highlight, and all of this. I guess you could call me old school, but you can definitely, I can definitely do some videos on the stick as well because I know that's in. But this is just my look, and so I just blend that in the apples and kind of the bridges of the nose, and that's where I kind of draw the color quite a bit whenever I'm going for a natural look. So after I get that deposited, I just will then fill in my lips, and I've already have the goat's milk lip conditioner on with Soar lip pencil from MAC Cosmetics. Because I have the goat's lip conditioner already on, my pencil really does slide nicely on the lips, so it goes on like a natural lip line as opposed to a very harsh. It just kind of blends in really nicely and it melts in because I still have a layer of that goat's milk lip conditioner on. And so what I typically do when I line my lips is I get the outer part of the lips, and then I will use kind of that ombre and kind of fill in that inner corner, the center of the lips where the Cupid's bow is, and both inner corners of the lips, or all four of them, just so that, later in the day I don't have to keep reapplying my lip gloss. So I'm going to use Fenty Beauty's lip gloss, and it's a really kind of mauve-y pink. It's a really nice everyday color, and I'm not the biggest fan of lip gloss, but I have really enjoyed this product because number one, it's not sticky, it's not too glossy, it doesn't transfer onto, my teeth, and I feel like it just sets in really nicely and it just does a trick. So there we are. Thank you so much for watching. I usually will just kind of take off my headband and I'm like going, okay, no, that doesn't look cute. So do whatever you need to do to make it look right. Rock your world.